The Seahawks lost to the 49ers at home on Thanksgiving. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show where we love Seattle Pro Sports. I'm your host, Mikey. This is the Seahawks postgame show. I'm doing it a few days after the game because the game was on Thanksgiving and they didn't do anything exciting enough that kept me awake after Thanksgiving dinner to get on and record immediately after the game or before I went to bed. And then the last couple of days, I've been really busy at work. So we're getting to it a few days late, but here we are to talk about a 31-13 loss to the San Francisco 49ers, a home game on Thanksgiving in prime time, and we lose. In an embarrassing fashion. We're just going to jump straight into the numbers and kind of look how this went down. Okay, let's look at this. Geno Smith, 18 for 27, 180 yards, 1 interception. Zach Charbonnet, 14 carries, 47 yards. Jackman Smith and Jibba, 2 receptions for 41 yards. I mean, what do you hear out of those stats as I scroll down through the stat line? What you hear is no touchdowns because we have not scored a touchdown in 7 quarters in Shane Waldron's offense. This very vanilla offense, right? We talked about it in the last game. Shane Waldron's play calling is just getting worse and worse. We heard it on KJ Wright's podcast, the loss before, saying how this Shane Waldron offense is vanilla. It's basic. There's no creativity, nothing that is going to confuse a defense or put any stress on a defense. Third down efficiency, horrible again, 3 for 11. Fourth down efficiency, 0 for 1. Why? Because they go to a shotgun draw on 4th and inches. You just went for a quarterback sneak, 3rd and 1, almost got it, and then you transition from that into a shotgun draw to the running back. A slow developing play when you need inches to go. And you go to a shotgun draw play. Please. When you got inches to go, you don't need a slow developing play. You need to attack that line as fast as possible. You need whoever you're going to have attack that line. You need to have them attack it as fast as possible. Total yards for this offense, 220 yards. Just this not good enough. Time of possession, 24 minutes 30 seconds. 2 turnovers on the day. Obviously the Geno Smith interception, that was just an amazing play by the corner for San Francisco. And then DJ Dallas, just the most boneheaded thing. They teach you this in elementary school. If you muff the punt, if you fumble the punt, that other team, they are running down. They are running down as fast as they can to tackle you in the first place. Don't then try to pick it up and run. Dive on that ball and make sure you get that ball. Do not let the other team get the ball. Dive on it, protect it, make sure the other team doesn't have a chance to recover it. What do you see? He makes like a third grade mistake where you try to pick it up and run. And sure enough, what happens all the time? You see this happen to elementary school players. They try to pick up the ball when after they fumble it, and guess what? Football is a weird shaped ball. It's just not easy to pick up when you are in a hurry. And sure enough, he tries to pick it up, slips out of his hand, and 49ers pick it up. Just boneheaded move by DJ Dallas. D. Eskridge had a nice day returning kicks and punts, but we weren't expecting to have to see that. And really, I mean, that was all he did, anyways. And then Shane Waldron tries to get him in the game. Again, Shane, you have so many weapons that are already good. We've already seen D. Eskridge not be good. Why are you trying to all of a sudden now work him into a game? When you have DK Metcalf, you have Tyler Lockett, you have JSN, you have Charbonnet. We have Kenny McIntosh, who was seemingly a healthy scratch because I didn't see him play. Yeah, just horrible, and then defensively, we came out and got punched in the face to start the game. We let them score a touchdown right away, but you knew this game was going to be tough. They have Christian McCaffrey, they have Deebo Samuels. Of course, they're going to be using those weapons. So you had to be prepared for this to be a back and forth, and Shane Waldron was not ready for that. He can't adjust in game. It seems like he can't adjust week to week because we're seeing the same sorry play calling where there's nothing in the middle of the field at all. We are seeing, again, I mistakenly thought like, oh, he's going to do those, that formation where he has two running backs lined up next to each other, next to Geno Smith. He's going to be doing creative things out of that. No, in fact, we saw it even less creative with three of them back there. We saw at times where there would be two backs lined up on one side of Geno Smith and a tight end on the other, all lined up in a row, right? And then you'd see Charbonnet do all this motioning around, run in front, run behind, and start running to the side. And what did we get out of that? A DK Metcalf streak, a Tyler Lockett streak, Charbonnet running out to the flat. The other two just standing there, going nowhere, and no routes run in the middle of the field. I mean, if you're going to do that, if you're, and especially if you think, okay, I got to keep a couple of, and he did this multiple times throughout the game, right? So putting no stress on the defense because they're like, oh, they have all these three backs in the backfield. Two of them are going to stay into block. One of them's just running out to the flat, and then the receivers, there's just two of them streaking down the sidelines. So we have essentially seven. You got your four down linemen. Then you have your other seven players. They're there to guard two receivers. and all those receivers are doing is streaking down the sideline. You got the running back again running the flat. I mean, at least have the running back do a Texas route. Put some sort of stress in the middle of the field, so maybe that gets linebackers or safeties to choke up a little bit in the middle of the field, and maybe that would give the receivers a better chance. But even then, that's still not enough. Uh, you know, based on the formation you're running, it's just sad. Sad to see. Um, I mean, and then let's look at what we were able to hold San Francisco to through the air. Brock Purdy, 21 for 30, 209 yards, just one touchdown, one interception. Like I said, he looked like the basic 7th round quarterback that he is. Good on the defense for doing that. Now, where the problem was Christian McCaffrey. Okay, what can you say? You'd love to slow Christian McCaffrey down. 19 carries, 114 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You'd love to slow him down. He's just that good. It's gonna be hard to stop him. Wish they could have done it. They couldn't. Reek Woolen benched for not tackling. I know Pete goes in post game interview and is protecting him, saying, "Hey, well, we sat Reek Woolen down because he's been dealing with his shoulder injury, and throughout the game it was affecting him." Well, it was affecting his tackling. Yes, that's what it was. It was affecting his tackling. He couldn't tackle McCaffrey on multiple occasions that he had a chance to. So they had to get him out. Deebo Samuel had 7 receptions for 79 yards, and that's what happens when you have a weapon like Deebo Samuel and you actually move him around the field and try to get mismatches in matchups. Deebo Samuel against Bobby Wagner. Deebo Samuel's going to win that. Just like you should be doing with your receivers, your dynamic playmaking receivers. The Seahawks have a lot of receivers who should give the 49ers defense, their corners, their linebackers, should give them lots of trouble. But not if you're only running streaks down the sideline. So I don't know what else to say about this game. We're not going to make this a long episode. It's already been a few days, so you've heard all about it from all the other shows you've been listening to or videos you've been watching. And it was just an embarrassing loss, 31-13. Where we are with the Seahawks right now, 6-5. Green Bay won their game. So they're closer to the wild card, but like I said, this is the NFC this year is not good. We are still in the playoff position. We still have the wild card spot. And for some teams, we have like a 2-game cushion on some teams. So we still have a really, we were going into this game with a wide margin of error. If you would have won this game, I would have told you, hey, we're going to the playoffs for sure. After this loss and the way the team looked, and our next games are Dallas on Thursday night, San Francisco, and then Philadelphia. I'm not feeling confident because those are all now feeling like if this is what the play calling is going to be, this is feeling like those will be losses for sure. And then you have your last 3 games, which look a lot easier, being against what you think are inferior teams. But we've seen them lose to inferior teams as well. So you're still not 100% sure. Even though the last 3 games, you're going up against Tennessee, Pittsburgh and Arizona, you're not feeling that confident if this is what the play calling is going to be. So now at this point, it's almost feeling like, are we going to get into the playoffs? Where I felt for sure this team is going to the playoffs. Um, last year, like I said, I thought the just the talent alone on the team was worthy of 8 wins, and they ended up with 9. You got and to me, coming into this year, not only did you have that same talent on the team, but you improved the talent on the team in my eyes with getting a Devin Witherspoon, with getting JSN, with getting Jaron Reed, with getting Bobby Wagner. With all of the moves they made, everything seemed like, okay, the talent on this team made an improvement, so that should get you the 9 wins that you got last year. And then to me, the talent level told me, well, this team, like you heard me say at the beginning of the season, I think the talent on this team is good enough to get up to 12 wins. That's looking almost impossible now because they'd have to win 6 of the last 7 games, and I just don't know if this team is going to be that consistent, or the play calling is going to be that consistent. Again, in a press conference the next day, Pete Carroll alluded to being more or getting more involved in the offense. He kind of walked that back later in the press conference when another reporter asked him a question about it. The first question was something about, are you going to get more involved with the offense end on third down? And he said yes, and I hope that helps. And then later on, when somebody asked him, does that mean he was going to be taking over the play calling or something to that effect? And he says, "Oh no, did I say that? Did I say it that way? That's not what I meant." So we'll see what really happens. I feel like the first statement was true, where he feels like, okay, I got to get involved, because if you don't know, that's usually not what head coaches do. Head coaches delegate to the offensive coordinator, to the defensive coordinator, those duties. They have a game plan, and then head coaches will usually trust their coordinators to call the game. And we know Pete Carroll is that way, and he's always talked about how he loves doing it that way, because it highlights his coaches and their abilities, and he doesn't want to be taking credit for things they do. And that's why you've seen offensive and defensive coordinators get hired from Pete's coaching tree, because it's known that Pete lets them do. So when the team has success, those coordinators get a lot of credit, as they should. And to me, in my eyes now, if there's a failing, those coordinators need to get a lot of blame. And we actually have seen this before from Pete Carroll, where he has said, with the defensive side of things, where he has said, yes, this is not going the way I want it to go, so yes, I'm going to get involved in play calling, and we've seen things improve in the past. So can that be the case with the offense? If he truly does get involved, will that help the offense improve? And I know people are going to say, well, he's a defensive coach. Yes, and he's also been coaching for 40-something, 50-something years. Okay, so it's not like he doesn't know football and he doesn't know how to run the offense. He's been around the game and coached the game long enough that he knows it. He just, he just does what most head coaches do and delegates those duties, and maybe he needs to get more involved in those. All right. Again, that was a really bad loss. We got the Cowboys coming up next on another Thursday night game. So we'll see how that goes. It's an away game, so that's another thing that makes you not feel good. But I don't know. I've heard a lot of players talking in press conferences on about how they, they sound desperate now. So maybe these players in desperation mode is going to unlock something, because you can't just place it on the coordinators. You got to place it on the players as well. There's a lot of execution things that are going wrong. You want to see them be put in better position in the first place, but there are things execution wise that can be improved a lot. So hopefully them being in desperation mode is going to lead to some some better play out of those players. All right. Yeah, that's all I got to say about this one. So let's close it out here. Again, 31-13 loss the San Francisco 49ers. It's days later now, but I'd still love to chat with people about it. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know how you feel about this team going forward. Are you one of these people who are like, oh, well, let's just go ahead and miss the playoffs now? I am not one of those people. I think this team still has the talent. The talent is there. If they are used correctly, I feel like, yeah, they could get on a hot streak at the end of the season and be going into the playoffs with a lot of momentum, a lot of good feelings about themselves, and that can lead to a lot. We've seen 8-win and 9-win teams go on to do very well in the playoffs and sometimes even win Super Bowls. So, if the talent is there, you have a chance. And I think the talent is here on this team. They just need to be put in better positions to perform. All right, so let me know your thoughts on that. Anything else you can do to help the show grow, like sharing the show, leaving a 5-star rating, written reviews on the podcast versions. I appreciate that all. And that's the end of the show. So thanks for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken and breathe fire. So take cover, because with the sea of sound you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever. And go Hawks.